Have you ever felt a quiet distance growing between you and the people you love? That subtle feeling, where the phone calls become a little less frequent, and the visits seem just a bit shorter, but you can't quite put your finger on why. We all want to be close to our family, to be a source of joy and wisdom in their lives. It's a fundamental human need, especially as we enter our golden years. But here is the heartbreaking truth. Sometimes, the very habits we think are harmless, the simple words we use out of care and concern, are the things that quietly push our loved ones away. This isn't your fault. It is an invisible trap of aging, a pattern so subtle that millions of well-meaning parents and grandparents fall into it without ever realizing. As a family doctor who has sat with hundreds of families for over 30 years, I can tell you a surprising truth. It's often the kindest people, the ones with the biggest hearts, who unintentionally cause the most damage to their own relationships. I'm not just talking about theory. I'm talking about real life. I will never forget one of my patients, John. A wonderful grandfather, a man who would do anything for his family. But he nearly lost his daughter completely. The calls stopped. The visits with his grandkids, they just faded away. All because of a single, repeated habit that John truly believed was his way of showing love. He had no idea he was tearing down the very bridge he was trying to build. But here is the good news. There is hope. Once you can see these invisible traps, you can step right around them. In this video today, we're going to gently pull back the curtain on 13 of these quiet habits. And more importantly, I will show you the simple, small adjustments you can make to heal those connections and strengthen them for the years to come. And please, be sure you stay with me until the very end. Because the 13th habit is perhaps the most deceptive of all. It almost always comes from a place of pure love, but it has the power to do the most harm. Understanding it could be the single most important key to preserving the most precious relationship in your life. Everything I'm sharing today doesn't come from a textbook. It comes from thousands of hours spent truly listening to people, just like you. Before we begin, I genuinely want to know how many of us have felt this. If what I've just described feels familiar, if you've ever sensed that distance, please, just take a moment and comment with a simple yes below. It lets me know you're here, and it shows everyone else in our community that they are not alone. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's begin with the first one. Habit number 1. Constant complaining. Let's be honest, as we get older, life gives us plenty of material to complain about. The knees ache when a storm is coming, the cost of groceries seems to climb every week, and the world just feels louder and faster than it used to be. These are real challenges, and it's only natural to want to voice them. But a dangerous line is crossed when sharing becomes complaining, and complaining becomes the main theme of every conversation. Psychologically, it's draining for the listener. Think of emotional energy like a battery. A good conversation is supposed to charge it up, but constant negativity does the opposite. It drains the battery of everyone in the room, leaving them feeling tired and depleted. As a result, people may start to avoid your calls, not because they don't love you, but because they have to protect their own peace of mind. I remember a lovely patient of mine, Carol. Her friends adored her, but they confessed to me that they hesitated to call because every conversation would inevitably turn into a long list of everything that was wrong. They left feeling heavier than when they started. The solution is simpler than you think. Try this rule. For every one complaint you feel you need to share, make sure you also share one small joy. A beautiful bird you saw at the feeder, a kind word from a neighbor, a song you heard on the radio that brought back a memory. Start today. It will instantly change the air around you. Habit number 2. Talking only about illnesses. Our health is, without a doubt, one of the biggest concerns in our later years. It's on our minds constantly. So it makes sense that we want to keep our loved ones updated on our doctor's visits, new medications, and the daily aches and pains. It comes from a need for them to understand what we're going through. But here is the unintended consequence. It can shift your role in their eyes from a parent or a grandparent to a patient. It unintentionally places them in the role of a caregiver in every conversation, which can be a heavy burden. You might notice your grandkids don't linger to chat as long as they used to. It might be because they feel like they're in a doctor's office instead of their grandma's cozy living room. You are so much more than your medical chart. You are a person with stories, opinions, and a sense of humor. I think back to the story of the grandmother whose granddaughter used to visit every weekend. Those visits became so focused on medications that they eventually dwindled to only major holidays. A truly heartbreaking and avoidable change. So, here is the action you can take. After giving a brief health update, immediately pivot the conversation back to them. Ask, "Enough about me, what's the most exciting thing that happened at your job this week?" Show them you are still deeply interested in their world. Habit number 3. Being overly opinionated. You have lived through decades of history. You've raised children, managed a household, navigated tough economic times, and learned countless lessons the hard way. Your experience is immensely valuable. Because of this, you've formed strong convictions about how things should be done. The trap is when that wisdom hardens into a "my way or the highway" mentality. When this happens, a conversation is no longer a shared exchange of ideas. It becomes a battle to be won. And nobody wants to be in a battle with someone they love. It forces the other person into a defensive crouch, where they feel their own experiences and opinions are being dismissed or judged. You might find that your adult children stop sharing their problems with you. They don't want to be told what to do. They want to be heard and understood. This is the very trap that John, the grandfather I mentioned earlier, fell into. He thought he was giving his daughter helpful parenting advice, but she only heard criticism, feeling like she was failing in his eyes. He wasn't trying to hurt her, he was trying to help. But the result was a painful distance. The solution is a single, powerful sentence. Practice saying this: "I see where you're coming from." You don't have to agree. You just have to validate that you've heard them. That simple act can disarm all the tension and reopen the doors to genuine connection. Habit number 4. Neglecting personal hygiene. Now, this is a very sensitive topic, and I want to approach it with the utmost care and respect. As we age, energy wanes. Simple tasks that were once automatic can feel like climbing a mountain. Sometimes, depression can set in, making it hard to find the motivation for daily routines. But personal hygiene isn't just about appearances. It's a fundamental expression of self-respect. It's a quiet signal to yourself and to the world that you still matter, that you still care. When a loved one comes to visit, and the air is stale or clothes are unwashed, they will almost certainly say nothing. They don't want to embarrass you. But that discomfort can lead them to shorten their visits or find reasons not to come over. It creates a physical barrier to closeness. I once worked with a family whose proud patriarch had stopped taking care of his dental health. His daughter told me through tears, "It breaks my heart, but it's hard to get close enough to give him a hug." It was a tragic, silent wall between them. This isn't about vanity. It's about dignity. Please, find the strength for the small acts. A simple shower, a clean shirt, a comb through your hair. Start with just one thing. It's a powerful statement that says, "I am still here, and I am worth the effort." Habit number 5. Living only in the past. Reminiscing is a beautiful, wonderful thing. Sharing stories from your youth, the day you got married, the funny things your kids did when they were little. That is the gold of a life well lived. These stories are your legacy. The danger arises when every single conversation becomes a trip down memory lane, leaving no room for the present. When your son tries to tell you about a new project at work, and you immediately pivot to a story about a job you had in 1975, it sends an unintentional message: your present is not as interesting as my past. Over time, your loved ones may stop sharing their current lives with you, feeling that there's simply no space for it. They want you to be a part of their world now. They want your opinion on the movie they just saw, or to hear what you think of their new haircut. I had a patient, Eleanor, whose grandkids described visiting her like visiting a museum. Interesting, but static. They felt disconnected from her as a person in the here and now. The fix is a simple change in direction. Make a conscious effort to be a curious interviewer. Instead of just telling your stories, ask about theirs. Ask questions that show you are invested in their life today. What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? That one question can build a bridge from the past straight into the heart of the present. Habit number 6. Criticizing younger generations. Kids these days, with their phones and their strange music and their torn jeans. It's a timeless complaint, one that our parents probably made about us, and their parents made about them. It's easy to look at the world they are growing up in and see only the things that are different and, to our eyes, wrong. We do it because we care, because we worry about them. But when all a young person hears from an elder is criticism, they don't hear the love behind it. They just hear that they are not good enough. They shut down. They stop listening. They stop sharing their lives because they anticipate judgment. Why is this habit so common as we age? Because the world changes, but our core values, formed decades ago, remain fixed. This creates a natural friction. But instead of focusing on that friction, try to find a point of connection. I challenge you to do this. The next time you talk to a grandchild, find one thing to genuinely praise. Not their appearance, but their character. I admire how hard you work at your studies, or you are so creative with your art. Building a bridge of praise is infinitely more powerful than digging a trench of criticism. It shows them you see them, not just the generation they belong to. If you've ever been pleasantly surprised by the kindness or creativity of a young person, please share that positivity by commenting with the word "wow" below. Habit number 7. Gossiping or meddling. In smaller communities or when we have more time on our hands, it can be incredibly tempting to get drawn into the local grapevine, talking about who is doing what, who is dating whom, or the choices a neighbor is making. It can feel like a harmless way to stay connected. But gossip is a slow poison to trust. If you talk about others with your family, they will naturally wonder what you say about them when they're not around. Meddling is gossip's more aggressive cousin. It comes from a good place. You see your child making a decision about their marriage or their finances, and you are certain you know a better way. You jump in with your opinion, unasked. But this is not perceived as help. It is perceived as a lack of faith in their judgment. It makes them feel defensive and small. I worked with a man whose mother's constant, well-meaning suggestions about his marriage created a rift that took years of counseling to repair. The solution requires great strength and restraint. It is the wisdom of silence. Let people live their own lives and make their own mistakes. Trust that you raise them well enough to navigate their own challenges. If they need your advice, they will ask for it. Until then, your supportive silence is often the greatest gift you can give. Habit number 8. Refusing to adapt or learn. Smartphones, online banking, video calls, QR codes. The world of technology can feel like a foreign country with a language we don't speak. It's overwhelming, and the easiest response is to simply say, "I'm too old for all that." But refusing to even try is like locking a door and throwing away the key. Behind that door are new ways to connect with the people you love. Your brain is a muscle. Learning new things is the best way to keep it strong and flexible, warding off cognitive decline. But more than that, it keeps you relevant in your family's life. Imagine the joy of being able to see your grandchild's face on a video call when they live 1,000 miles away, or the simple pleasure of receiving a photo from them instantly. I had an 84-year-old patient who felt her world was shrinking. We convinced her to take a basic tablet class at the local senior center. A month later, she was emailing her old college friends and playing online Scrabble with her son. She told me, with a twinkle in her eye, "I feel like I've rejoined the world." The world will not slow down for us. But we can choose to keep walking alongside it. Start small. Ask a grandchild to show you just one thing on their phone. Your curiosity will be the bridge that keeps you connected. Habit number 9. Playing the victim. Loneliness is a real and devastating epidemic among seniors. The feeling that nobody calls, nobody visits, nobody cares. It is a profoundly painful experience. It's easy to fall into a mindset of blaming others for this pain. My children are too busy for me. My friends have forgotten me. While these feelings are valid, when they become the story you tell yourself and others, they create a self-fulfilling prophecy. This victim mentality, while born from real hurt, closes your heart. It makes you passive, waiting for the world to come to you. But connection is a two-way street. I've seen this time and again in my practice. The people who break free from loneliness are the ones who decide to take action, no matter how small. They decide to be the ones who reach out first. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a profound act of strength. It shows you are taking control of your own happiness. Instead of waiting for the phone to ring, pick it up and call someone just to say you were thinking of them. Send a birthday card. Invite a neighbor for a cup of tea. Making the first move changes everything. It transforms you from a passive victim of your circumstances into the active creator of your own connections. Habit number 10. Being financially controlling. You've worked your entire life to build a secure future and to be in a position to help your family. Giving financial gifts to your children or grandchildren can be one of the great joys of this stage of life. The danger emerges when that gift comes with invisible strings attached. When money is used, consciously or not, as a tool for control or to create a sense of obligation. Phrases like, "After all I've done for you," or using financial support as leverage to get them to visit more often, transform a gift into a transaction. It does not build love, it builds resentment and guilt. Your children will feel trapped. I saw a family torn apart by this. An elderly father constantly reminded his son of the down payment he had provided for his house. Every conversation was laced with it. Eventually, the son stopped visiting, not because he was ungrateful, but because he couldn't bear the weight of the emotional debt. The solution is to practice the art of pure giving. When you give with a completely open heart and expect nothing in return. Not a visit, not a phone call, nothing. And if you cannot give without those expectations, it is better and healthier for the relationship not to give at all. True generosity is freeing, both for the giver and the receiver. Habit number 11. Refusing all help. Independence. It's the word we value most as we age. We've spent our lives being capable, being the ones others relied on. So when someone offers to help, to carry the groceries, to drive us to an appointment, to mow the lawn, our pride can flare up. We say, "No, I've got it." We see accepting help as a sign of weakness, a confession that we are no longer as strong as we once were. But this is a profound misunderstanding. Allowing someone to help you is not about your weakness. It is about their need to show love. When your granddaughter offers to carry a heavy bag, she's not saying you're feeble. She's saying, "Grandma, I love you and I want to care for you." By refusing that help, you are unintentionally rejecting her expression of love. You are denying her the good feeling that comes from caring for someone else. I've seen proud men and women push their families away because their pride was more important than the connection being offered. Please learn to say yes. Say, "Yes, thank you, that would be lovely." It builds a bridge. It creates a beautiful exchange of care. Remember, your relationships are far more valuable than your pride. Accepting help with grace is a sign of great strength, not weakness. If you now see that accepting help is an act of strength and connection, please comment with the word "strong" below. It's a powerful reminder for us all. Habit number 12. Losing your sense of humor. Life is heavy. There is no way around it. As we get older, we carry the weight of loss, the burden of physical pain, and the anxieties about the future. It is easy to let that weight extinguish our inner light, to forget how to laugh. But a sense of humor is a superpower. It is the buoyancy that keeps us from sinking. When you can still laugh at yourself, at the absurdities of life, at a silly joke, you become a source of light for everyone around you. People are drawn to joy. A joyful spirit is magnetic. It doesn't mean you ignore the hard stuff. It means you don't let the hard stuff win. I had a patient, a wonderful woman in her 90s named Rose, who was in constant pain from arthritis. But she was the most popular person in her retirement community. She would joke, "I have more wrinkles than a map, but at least I know my way around." She made people feel alive. People didn't visit her out of pity. They visited her because being with her made them feel better. Don't let the aches and pains steal your laughter. Find joy in small things. Watch a funny movie. Share a silly joke. Laughter is a shared language that reminds everyone, including yourself, that the heart can remain young, no matter what the calendar says. Habit number 13. Giving unsolicited advice. And finally, we arrive at the 13th habit. This one is the most difficult, the most subtle, and the most common. And it comes from the purest place, a heart full of love. It's the habit of giving advice when it hasn't been asked for. Your daughter calls to vent about a struggle she's having with her teenage son. You immediately jump in with a list of 5 things she should be doing differently, based on your own experience. You are trying to help, to solve her problem. But what does she hear? She hears a subtle message: you're not handling this correctly. It invalidates her feelings and her capabilities. Most of the time, when people share a problem, they are not looking for a solution. They are looking for a witness. They want to be heard, to be seen, and to be validated. They need to know they're not alone in their struggle. This is the single biggest reason why adult children sometimes stop sharing the deep things with their parents. They need an ear, not a fixer. So, here is your final, and perhaps most important task. Learn to just listen. When your loved one shares a struggle, bite your tongue and offer empathy instead of answers. Say the magic words, "That sounds so incredibly hard. I'm so proud of you for dealing with it." That one sentence, that simple act of validation, will build more trust and love than 1,000 pieces of perfect advice ever could. As we come to a close, let's go back for a moment to the story of John, the grandfather I spoke of at the beginning of our time together. The man who, with a heart full of love, nearly pushed his daughter away completely. It was a combination of those habits we discussed, especially that 13th one, the instinct to fix instead of just listen, that had unknowingly built a wall between them. But after one brave, honest, and very difficult conversation, John began to practice the simple art of listening. And today, I can tell you that his relationship with his daughter is stronger and more beautiful than it has ever been. The grandkids are over every weekend again. Not because they have to be, but because they truly want to be there, in the warm and accepting presence of their grandfather. His story is a powerful reminder that it's never too late to change, and that the smallest shifts can heal the biggest divides. The core message I hope you take away today is a simple one. Growing old is a privilege that life gives us. But growing old with grace, with kindness, and with understanding, that is an art that we give to ourselves and to our families. It is the small, conscious changes in how we speak and listen that make the most profound difference, turning our presence from a potential burden into a cherished gift. As we wrap up, we've explored 13 critical habits that can truly transform our golden years. But knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one important question for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I will listen more and fix less, or I will share one small joy this week. Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. Reading them inspires me, and more importantly, it lets us all inspire each other to take that first, meaningful step. And if you found real value and true inspiration in our time together today, please show your support by giving this video a like. It's a small click for you, but it helps this message reach more people who may be feeling lonely and don't know why. To ensure you continue on this journey with us and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community of friends, all dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of one person. Just one person in your life who needs to hear this message today, and please share it with them. You never know, that simple act might just change their life. Thank you so much for your time and your trust. Stay kind, stay humble, and I will see you in the next video.